Good morning, everybody. Let's begin in child's pose. Hope everyone is doing well so far this Monday. Separate the knees a little wider than the hips. Your big toes touch together. Relax your hips to your heels. You can reach arms forward or back, whatever feels better here on the shoulders, on the neck. Please feel free to modify your practice as it makes sense today. Challenge yourself where you can. Back off if you need. Child's pose is a nice modification for a little resting pose. Beginning as we do, settling into our space, following the breath. Keeping the breath moving in and out through the nose. Deepening the breath, letting it move a little bit more through the body. Feel the ribs expand as you inhale. And letting the breath cycle through and soften the shoulders with your exhales. Let's take 3 more deep breaths, firing up the Ujjayi breath. Then coming up onto your hands and knees. Bring the knees in just a tiny bit so they're underneath your hips. Spread the fingers wide, setting up our first down dog of the day. Lining up the wrist crease with the front edge of the mat. Press down through the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Coming into your first down dog of the day. Walking out the feet a little bit in your first down dog, pedaling out the heels. Bending one knee, bending the other. Just stretching things out. On a big inhale, lift up the heels high. As you exhale, sink the heels back down toward the mat. Let's roll forward to plank pose, lining up the shoulders over the wrist, and lower your knees, then lower all the way onto your belly. Slide the fingertips back about 1/2 inch, maybe 1/4 inch, just a little bit. With the tops of the feet on the mat, start pressing away from the mat, coming into a high Cobra pose. So your knees are on the mat, the shoulders draw back a little, and just look past the end of the nose. And if it feels good to do so, maybe bring one shoulder forward, right, leaning into the stretch, then go the other way. Giving yourself just an easy little twist in this deeper back bend. And taking one more deep breath. And let's come back to center, back to down dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, and with a little bend in the knees, look forward through the hands. Walk or hop the feet up to the front of the mat, folding over the legs. Keeping your feet about hip-width distance apart, little bend in the knees. Take your hands to opposite elbows, just dropping the head down. And if it feels good, you can nod the head or shake the head, yes, no, sway a little side to side. Begin slowly rolling up to stand. Uncurling all the way up. As you keep pressing down through the legs, lift the chest, drop the shoulders back, standing nice and tall in Tadasana. Inhaling, circle the arms around and up overhead, look up at your thumbs. Exhaling, dive over the legs. Lifting up the chest on the inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhaling, step the left leg back in a low lunge, lower the left knee. You can grab blocks if you need them here. As you straighten the front leg, curl the right toes back. Draw the right hip back a little bit. Take one more deep breath. Then bending up at the right knee, lift the back knee up, step to plank pose. Let's roll to the outer right foot. Take a side plank facing the left side of the room. Your left leg stacks on top. And if you want to modify here, you can just lower the right knee down on the mat. Give it one more deep breath. Lower the left hand, bring it to center plank, taking an inhale. On the exhale, lower to chaturanga halfway. You can always drop the knees to modify. Untuck the toes. Come into your upward facing dog. Lifting the knees off the mat in your up dog. Returning back to downward facing dog. Or taking child's pose. We're here for 3 deep breaths. Two more deep breaths. One more breath. On your next inhale, let's lift the right leg up. On the exhale, pull the knee to the nose, round it in. Inhaling the right leg up. Exhale, low lunge, step your foot through the hands. Looking forward, step all the way to the front of the mat, drop the head down, rounding over the legs, with the feet slightly separated, again, rolling up nice and easy to stand. Press down, uncurl, your head comes up last, shoulders back, palms slightly forward. Inhaling, circle the arms around and up overhead, look up at your thumbs. Exhaling, dive over the legs. On your inhale, we're lifting the chest. Exhaling, step the right foot back in low lunge, lower the back knee. Ardha Hanuman, straighten the front leg. Again, use blocks if you need under the hands. Curl the left toes back. Let's take one more breath. Rebending up at the left knee, lift the back knee off the mat, plank pose, step the foot back. Side plank, Vashisthasana, go the other way, roll to the outer left foot, face the right side, the right leg is on top, lift the right arm, and of course modify any way you might have done on the first side. Let's give it one more deep breath in. On the exhale, lower the right hand, come back to center. Let's take our chaturanga, lower halfway. Upward facing dog, untuck the toes. Press back to your down dog or child's pose. Deep breaths. Two more deep breaths. One more breath. On your next big inhale from down dog, lift the left leg high. Exhaling, knee to nose, round it in, shoulders over the wrist. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale to low lunge, step your foot through the hands. Step all the way to the front of the mat, fold over the legs, dropping the head down. Roll up to stand one more time. Coming all the way up, chest up, shoulders back. Bring both hands to your waist. Shifting your weight to the right leg, turn the left toes out. Let's do a little tree pose, starting with some balancing. You can keep the left foot on the mat for balance, or step the foot inside the right leg, below the knee, or avoiding the knee. If the hips are ready, you can slide the foot to the inner thigh. Lengthen the tailbone down, bring both palms together at the heart. Just gaze past the end of the nose, finding your drishti, your focal point. Press down, inhale the arms up. Separate the hands, reach out. And letting the breath move. Maybe finding a little more flexibility to flow in the breeze. Maybe move the arms a little bit as an option. Deep breaths. Let's give it one more full breath. Bring both palms together again at the heart. Lower your left foot to the mat. Switch sides, shift your weight, turn the right toes out. You can keep the right foot down for balance or step the foot inside the left leg to the shin, or avoiding the knee, slide the foot above, tailbone down, palms together at the heart, lifting up out of the waist, sweep the arms up, sweep the arms out. Deep breaths. And if you did it on the first side, you're welcome to try it again here, just letting the arms sway gently back and forth. All right, remembering to maintain some flexibility, right, on windy days like today. Just give yourself some ability to move while still maintaining your balance. Let's give it one more breath. Bringing both palms together again at the heart. Lower the right foot down on the mat. Keep the palms together at the heart. Step your feet all the way together. Bend the knees all the way. Sitting deep in our chair pose, lift the arms. Separate the hands, maybe look up between the hands if you can. Utkatasana. On an exhale, dive over the legs. Step the left leg back at a low lunge. Let's come into warrior one. Turn the back heel 45-degree angle. Sweep the arms high. Good. Keep reaching up. Press down through the legs. Bring the right hip back a tiny bit. Your tailbone lengthens down. Take one more breath. Warrior two, arms out to the side. Look over the right middle finger. Keep the arms nice and strong. One more breath. Let's reverse the warrior. Sweep the right arm up. Keep the right knee pointing forward. On your exhale, lower both hands to the inside of the right foot on your mat. As you straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, your back knee, keeping your left foot flat on the mat. You can pick up your right toes, coming into this brief side lunge pose. One more breath. Let's transition to a low lunge at the front of the mat, so the right toes down, bending the knee, walk the hands around, step to down dog, bring the right foot back. You can hold your down dog. If you'd like to flow through, you can take your plank chaturanga up dog. And we'll meet in our down dog again. One more breath. On your next big inhale, lift the right leg up. As you exhale, low lunge, step your foot through the hands, carry up the foot if you need, step all the way to the front of the mat, drop the head down as you fold. Heel toe the feet back together, keep your fingertips reaching toward the mat. Start bending up the knees all the way, sink the tailbone down, let the arms reach up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Maybe let the eyes look up between the hands if you can, one more inhale. On the exhale, dive over the legs, soften the head down, step your right foot back in a low lunge. Setting up warrior one, turn the back heel, 45-degree angle, sweep the arms up. Reaching up through the fingertips, shoulders out of the ears. Let the toes rest nice and easy on the mat. Open the arms out, warrior two. Keep the deep bend in the left knee. Reverse the warrior, sweep the left arm over, the right arm just softens down the back leg. Windmill both hands to the inside of your left foot on the mat. Take your side lunge to the back of the mat, bending the right knee, shift your weight over, make sure the right heel stays down. One more breath. Let's low lunge at the front of the mat, the left toes plant down, walk the hands around, downward facing dog, left foot back. Again, you can hold your down dog. If you want to take a child's pose, you can, or maybe flow through as you inhale to plank, exhale chaturanga, upward facing, soften the shoulders, meeting back in downward facing. Let's take one more breath here. Lift up the left leg, big inhale. Exhale to low lunge, step your foot through. Looking forward, step all the way to the front of the mat, fold over the legs, feet together, toes and heels touch, bend the knees, Utkatasana. We're going to do the same sequence a little faster. Dive over the legs. Step the left leg back in a low lunge, warrior one, back heel spins down, float the arms high. Let's open out the arms, warrior two. Reverse the warrior, sweep the right arm over. Windmill both hands to the inside of the right foot on the mat. Side lunge to the left, Skandasana, bend the left knee, keep the heel down. Low lunge at the front of the mat. Right toes down as you walk the hands around. Down dog, step the right foot back. Again, you're either holding or flowing through, yogi's choice. Maintaining the breath wherever you are. From your downward facing dog, big inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, low lunge, step your foot through the hands. Looking forward, step all the way up. Fold over the legs, head down, heel toe the feet back together all the way. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, lift the arms, look up between the hands. On the exhale, dive over the legs. Sending the right foot back in a low lunge, warrior one, back heel spins down. Lift the arms, reaching up out of the waist. Warrior two, reach out to the side. On your inhale, reverse warrior, left arm over. Windmill both hands to the inside of the left foot. Skandasana to the right, bend the right knee, keep the heel down, one breath. Low lunge back to the front of the mat, plant the left toes down, walk the hands around, downward facing dog. Good, again, you can either hold, you can go right into child's pose. We're gonna meet in child's pose, so if you want, you can flow through on your way there. Let's take a moment as we catch our breath. All right, finding our stillness once again. Let's take 2 more breaths. Let's bring it back again onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. Lifting up the left leg, big inhale. Exhale, low lunge, step your foot through the hands, looking forward. Step all the way up, fold over the legs, rounding down. With your feet slightly separated, roll up slowly to stand. Take your time, coming all the way up. Chest up, shoulders back. Good, standing nice and tall at the front of the mat. Let's do another balancing pose. Let's do Garudasana Eagle Pose. So bringing your feet, bringing your feet together again. Sit to chair pose, bend the knees. So the fingertips first reach toward the mat, then lift the arms up. We'll start with the right side first. Take the right arm, wrap it under the left, wrapping elbows and wrist. You can hold here, or if you're modifying with, if you have tight shoulders, hands to shoulders, right? Good. Keep sitting down, then lifting up the right leg, cross it over the left. Try to hook the foot if you can behind the left calf. It's a deep stretch, and I know it's still probably early in the day for a lot of us, but feel free if you want to give it a go. Just give it a try. Bring the knees a little bit to the right. You can lift the elbows up, or you can bring the elbows in and round. Let's just take one more breath wherever you are. And as you inhale, we'll bring the elbows up if they're not already. Then sweep the right leg down, press through the legs, stand up, sweep the arms overhead, look up at your thumbs, drop the arms down by your side, Tadasana. We'll do the other side, keep the feet all the way together, bend the knees all the way, fingertips reach toward the mat, Utkatasana, arms high, right arm, left arm. Wrap it under the right, elbows and wrists. Again, if you're modifying, hands to shoulder. So the opposite arm is on top. Keep sitting down, lift the left leg, cross it over the right. Try to hook the foot if you can. Some days are good, some days not, right? Give it a try. You may even find, like myself, right, one side is easier than the other to get into. And that's okay. Right, we have all these imbalances in our bodies that we try to work through. And yoga hopefully balances them out a little. Bring the knees a little to the left. You can either keep the elbows lifting or curl them in. Keep the breath moving one more time. And pressing through the legs. Lift the elbows if they're not already. Lower the left foot down. Straight legs. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, dive over the legs. Uttanasana. Stepping the feet hip-width distance apart. Take your hands to opposite elbows again. Bending up the knees as much as you like. And let the head hang heavy. And bring your feet together, toes and heels touch. Bend the knees, sit deep, lift the arms, Uttanasana. This time just dive over the legs, lifting up the chest, big inhale. Step it back to plank. You can jump it to chaturanga if that's in your practice to work it a little deeper. Lowering slow. Upward facing dog. Pressing back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up. Step to low lunge. Exhale the foot through the hands. Take your right hand, slide it inside the right foot. Actually, let's do this. Let's do warrior two. Spin the back heel down. Windmill the arms out to the side. There we go. Want to work a little more through the hips here. Tailbone down, chest up. Start to straighten out the front leg. Add a triangle pose. Turn the arms, Trikonasana, so the right hand lowers toward the right leg. You can put a block under the hand or just let your fingertips reach down if you like. Turn your gaze, look past the left fingertips. One more deep breath. Then keeping the legs nice and strong, press down, come all the way up with the arms reaching out. Turn the right toes in, so you're facing the left side of the room again. Just dive over the legs. Come into Prasarita Padottanasana with the head lengthening down, sit bones high. And let's take one more deep breath. On your next inhale, we're lifting the chest. Let's take a little side lunge to the back of the mat again. Bend the left knee, foot flat on the mat, chest up. You can pick up the right toes. Low lunge at the front of the mat. Plant the right toes down, walk the hands around. Let's transition from here into Pigeon Pose. With both palms flat, lift the right leg, keep the right knee bending, slide the right knee behind the wrist. Sit tall. Level the hips, use blocks, blankets under the right hip or thigh if you need. Then walk the hands all the way out, lower the forehead. And slowly releasing out as you slide the hands back in, lift the head, the chest up. Let's meet in down dog. Tuck the back toes, slide the right leg back. You're welcome to shake it off a little bit, stretch out the legs. Optional plank chaturanga up dog if you'd like to flow through again. Let's switch the sides. Big inhale, lifting up the left leg. Exhale to low lunge, step your foot through the hands. Slide the left hand inside the left foot. Peel the right heel back down on the mat as we set up warrior two. Windmill the arms out to the side. Chest up, look over the left middle finger. Adding a triangle pose, Trikonasana, straighten the left leg, turn the arms. Lower the left hand, keep the right arm reaching up. Let the torso open up toward the sky. Soften the toes on the mat. Micro bend through the left knee. One more breath. Keeping the legs nice and strong. Press through the legs. Come up. Arms out. Good. Little side lunge to the back of the mat. Bending up at the left knee. Bending up at the right knee, sorry. Hands to the mat. Straightening out the left leg. Pick up the left toes. Keep the right heel down on the mat. Let's return to low lunge at the front of the mat. Plant the left toes down. Walk the hands around. Let's transition into pigeon pose with both palms flat. Lift the left leg, little bend in the knee. Slide the knee behind the wrist. Right leg back, sit tall. Prop yourself if you need under the left hip or thigh. When you're ready, walk the hands out. And of course, if you're modifying here, you're just gonna do the reverse figure 4 on your back. Let's give it another deep breath or two. And start to walk the hands back in. Lift the head, the chest up. One more downward facing dog. Step the left leg back, shake it off. Stretch it out. And lower your knees to the mat. And actually have a seat on your heels. So you can do this any number of ways, right? You can either be right here, right? Knees together, feet together, sitting on your heels. If the knees are a little cranky, you can take a block and stick the block between the heels, right? Gives you height, takes pressure off the knees. If you have a blanket, you can roll it up and slide it right behind the knees. Does the same thing, takes some pressure off the knees, right? And depending on where you are, right? I'm gonna demo here with the block between the heels. So start to walk the hands back a little bit. We're just going to come into a little bit of a back bend. Fingertips down. Scoop the tailbone a little bit. When you scoop the tailbone and lengthen, you'll probably start to feel the quads open up and stretch. And that's part of what we're going for here. And you can hold here. Again, as long as this is no pressure on the knees, you're good. If you have space to do so with the knees and the back, you can make this more of a back bend by, again, if you're not using a block, you can let the hips settle between your heels. Walk the hands back. You're either here with your hands down, chest up, where you can drop the head back, or you can bring one elbow at a time onto your mat. And I am not going to demo it because I am not as warmed up. But if you happen to have space to do so, you can come flat down on your back with the arms reaching overhead and your hands to opposite elbows, right? So feel free to take the back bending variation that is suitable for you today, maintaining the breath. And let's give it one more deep breath, wherever you are. As you start to release out, come back up, right? And if you're on a block, remove it. Have a seat on your mat. Sweep the legs straight out front. All right, flex the toes. You can even shimmy the hips forward a little bit so you can really settle your sit bones onto the mat. Setting up Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Sit tall, lift the arms high. On an exhale, reach forward and grab your feet. You can grab toes, heels. Use a strap or a belt or something if you need. Let the shoulders drop back. Reach the crown of the head forward. And let's give it one more deep breath. On your inhale, lifting the chest. Exhaling, releasing out the feet. Let's bend at the right knee, setting up Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated spinal twist. Take the right foot, step it outside the left leg, reaching the right arm back. You're sitting tall. We're twisting to the right side. Wrap your left arm. If you're looking for a slightly deeper stretch, the option is take the left elbow outside the right knee, chest up. Let's give it one more deep breath. Good. Coming back to center, take a little counter stretch to your left side. Returning back to the middle, unwrap the right leg, bend the left knee, go the other way, step the left foot outside the right leg, reach the left arm back, sit tall, wrap the right arm, twist to your left side. And of course, if you're taking this slightly deeper variation, take the right elbow, hook it outside the left knee, making sure the chest stays lifted, dropping the shoulders. One more breath. Good. Return to center, releasing out the left foot. Let's bend at the knees, roll back slightly off the tailbone, lift your feet up off the mat. Coming into Navasana boat pose. Chest up, drop the shoulders, gaze past the toes, and if you're up for a slightly deeper variation this morning, you can straighten out the legs. Keep your inner thighs rolling in a little bit so the feet, your toes are still lined up in one straight line here. Keep the belly fired up. Let's give it one more deep breath. And bending up at the knees, roll onto your back. Hugging both knees in toward the chest. If it feels good, you can rock a little side to side. Take a little happy baby pose if that feels good. Let your feet return to the mat, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop out using blocks or blankets under the knees. If you need a little more support through the hips, if this doesn't feel terrific to hold for comfortably for a few deep breaths. From here, as you start to release out, fold the knees back in. You can windshield wiper the knees side to side. And before we settle into a brief Shavasana this morning, feel free to take an inversion practice if you have one. Certainly if you have a headstand practice, you can do headstand, Shirshasana, Sarvangasana, shoulder stand, if that feels good, if you're not working through any head, neck, shoulder injuries, right? Looking only toward the toes. If you're doing that, grab a block or blanket under the lower back if you want to do a modified legs up in the air. Right, nice semi-restorative option. You always have the option to take your mat to the wall if you want to do that and put your legs up the wall, right? And if, yeah, you can also just do the legs up in the air without a block as well. If you don't have one available or a blanket or something, you can just stay on your back, almost like similar to like a dead bug pose. And just give yourself a few deep breaths. Right, as we settle our energy here, just take another 3 to 5 deep breaths. Let's take one more breath here. Good. Then releasing out from whatever your inversion was. If you were in headstand, you're going to take a brief child's pose. From shoulder stand or legs up in the air variation, you can stay on your back. Fish pose, Matsyasana, straight legs, chest up, top of the head on the mat, the shoulders drop back. You can roll onto your belly for Cobra pose, right? Bhujangasana. You could do an up dog, or any of those variations. Give yourself another deep breath or two. Then when you're ready, releasing out, returning onto your back. Take any final little stretch or twist that suits you today. Then setting up your Shavasana, your final relaxation. Let the legs extend out on the mat. Separating your feet so the toes naturally drop out toward the sides. Turn the palms face up. Softly closing the eyes. Letting go of the Ujjayi breath. Settling into stillness, letting go of the physical practice. Uncreasing the brow. Unclenching the jaw. Begin lengthening the breath, gradually returning awareness to the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Maybe gently roll the head side to side. Reaching the arms overhead, enjoy a nice waking stretch. Then bring the knees in toward the chest one final time. Slowly rolling over toward the right side. And keeping the eyes closed a little while longer, come back up to a comfortable seated position on the mat. Bringing both palms together at the heart. Soften your chin to your chest. Just taking a moment as we seal our practice, return to the breath. Revisiting your intention. And always taking a moment to honor your efforts and honor your practice today. Namaste.